Good morning, everyone. Jai Jagannath, Jai Masamle. Today is the last day and last session. Today we are going to
Good
listen our
morning, everyone.
coordinate Jai
Professor
Jagannath, Jai
Dr. Anil
Masamle.
Karsar.
Today is the last day and last session. Today we are going to
Good
listen
our
morning, everyone.
coordinate
Jai
Professor
Jagannath, Jai
Dr.
Masamle.
Anil.
He is working as a professor in civil department in VSSUT. He has the experience as an assistant engineer from 1991 to 2014, assistant executive engineer 2014 December February to December 2014, then deputy executive engineer under Department of Water Resources, Government of Odisha. His expertise on modeling in water resources, flood frequency, subcomputing, climatic change, hydrological data management analysis. He has 10 international and 6 national publications and more than 30 conferences. He is also the life member of Indian Water Resource Society. Give a huge round of applause for Professor Dr. Anil Kumar Karasar. Thank you.
Priti has told that I have passed many years in water resources department before shifting my career from water resources to water resources engineer to a faculty. So it is a long journey, and by this time I have already completed my 34 years of Naukri service. So it is a good thing, and another 4 years still there. So it is a long service period. So in that, what I have seen that utility of an engineer, that is most useful. Whenever you are showing some expertise, everybody will always try to keep you in your team, keep you in the team. Otherwise, you are a very plain person, and you are not interfering with anyone, and you are continuing your service. But try to be somewhat person with having some X factor, so that all will recognize your importance and try to keep you in the team. That is the main thing. That's why one will keep you in the team. That means you should be having some added advantage. Besides your qualification, besides your regular job, you should be having an added qualification, added advantage. What should be that added advantage? So, in that context, I have tried many things, and out of them, that few important things should be carried on by me. Like I was doing flood frequency analysis, I was doing water availability study, I was doing GIS based analysis. So these things that really fetches that yes, for this reason you can invite him, for this reason you can invite him. So in that way we have processed our career. So my honest players will be that the students and the research persons and those who are also in the service, they should be thinking and planning in that way. You should be having some X factor. What is the X factor? You should be knowing that. And I have seen some of my friends, those who are working in irrigation department, they were at Bhubaneswar because they feel they are important during assembly period, because they were so good in writing the assembly question and the subsequent answers. Because for that reason, they were there. So that is their X factor. They are doing their regular duty, but the X factor is that they were answering the assembly questions. We are not. We are not. ମତେ ଯଦି ଦିଆଯିବ ମୁଁ କହିବି ରଖ ଭାଇ ମୁଁ ଜାଣିନି ଏଗୁଡା କଣ. So in that way, they have developed their acumen. They have developed their expertise. So these things also, when you are leaving this place, please try to remember that you should be somewhat important in either of the sector. So now coming to this urban flooding, modeling of urban flooding, that because we are doing at Sambalpur, that's why those who have seen these things, for them it is not new, and few students, they have worked with me. But in that, how to tackle a city, how to tackle a urban flooding issue. And presently, the riverine flooding are almost a little bit less, but the urban flooding issue is getting acute. And for the one reason that I can say that one is we are changing the land use land cover. Another thing is intensity of the rainfall. That these two things are predominant, and because of the changes in land use land cover, so many things are coming. Because the moment you are converting most of the pervious part to impervious part, runoff factor is getting increased. What is runoff factor? It is not. It is runoff factor. Kon. What do you mean by runoff factor? Runoff factor is that how much runoff you are getting out of a rainfall. Then the moment you are converting this pervious part to impervious part, that means the runoff factor is increasing. That means you are getting more runoff. And by the time the urbanization is getting developed and you are just the streams, etc., these are getting choked. The lands which are already for the purpose of swamp or water bodies, these are getting reduced. That is the main thing behind the concept of this urban flooding. That's why urban flooding is rising, because everybody, they are making their houses and they are keeping no space for the water to infiltrate. That's why, that is the reason the urban flooding is now is a regular issue. So coming to this, can you change करिए? समझे? अच्छा हो. So background of this are every year during monsoon, the flood is in case of Sambalpur. I am coming to, and you remember that every river or every city, they are having their own issues for urban flooding or riverine flooding. The flood which is occurring for Mahanadi, the same condition is not for Budhabhana. Same condition is not for Rishikalya. So things that, yes, no doubt, there is rainfall, heavy rainfall, which will be going towards higher flood. But in case of Hirakud system, the things are different. There is a कौन आप पे Ah. The city to city, and the same case, in case of Cuttack, the urban flooding is somewhat different. For Baripada, urban flooding is somewhat different. For Baleshwar, for Chandbali, we have visited recently Chandbali. For Keonjhar, things are different. From urban flooding issue, things are different from city to city. At the moment you are realizing that, suppose you have assigned the work of urban flooding to a particular city, then you remember that you have to work in a decent way, in a technical way, so that you can handle. So I shall be going in that way, how we have handled the particular case of Sambalpur. And हाँ हाँ है हाँ कौन है चिपी है हाँ so there are three rivers in these streams. I can say that Sambalpur is a city, there should not be any urban flooding, but due to some certain reason there is urban flooding. Why? Because there is a ring road. Because there is a ring road, and the streams which are taking the water of the Sambalpur towards this ring road are getting choked or controlled at some places. And even if there will be no flood, because the flood will arise, urban flooding will be arise when there is flood in the Mahanadi system. That means if Hirakud is releasing certain amount of water, then that means 22 gates. The yardstick is 22 gates. If Hirakud is releasing water to 22 gates, then there will be a raise in the level of the Mahanadi, and the so-called nalas like Dhobijor, they are Dhobijor, Mandlia, and they will unable to pass the water towards Mahanadi, because the level of the ponded water here and the level of the flowing water of Mahanadi are different. If the Mahanadi water will raise, then this water will cannot pass to Mahanadi. So there will be choking, logging at other side, then that will raise to urban flooding. Otherwise, no issue. And for that, what they have done? They have done a pumping system. They have arranged a pumping system at two places. Perhaps you people, you have the idea that they have developed a pumping system, and these pumping system are releasing the water from this ponded water to Mahanadi system. Out to water jai paribani. Then panta phopadiyak padiyo, because water is not getting allowed through the normal system, because there is a high level of the water in Mahanadi. So that case arise during this 2022, and I have the photographs with me, and my students are also with me, that we have visited the spots and really found the reasons behind this. Reasons behind the realized earlier we are listening all these things. So we have realized that after identifying the अच्छा ठीक है टिके बैक को पड़े हाँ. So these scopes are there. How to scopes you have to, for a particular city you have to identify the scope. How to do this work? इसमें क्या करना है? What you have to do for a particular scope? Then you have to break that part. For this scope, this should be analysis. For this scope, this should be the analysis. In that way, you have to go in order to handle a particular situation. If somebody will be giving me that Budha Balanga, you do the flooding of the Budha Balanga. So the scope is for that scope, I have to again channelize my analysis. What kind of analysis I have to give? Position to it is not same as what I am doing presently. We are working in Uttarakhand. The same way we are not doing. The way is different somewhere. But the normal cases are different, but the ways are uh, different. From part to part analysis, are number of analysis are there. In hydrology book, there are number of analysis. IDF, the diet curve, mass curve, hydrograph, so many things are there. Where to apply all those? And where not to apply all those? I always tell that QP is equal to CIA is not QP is equal to CIA. How to change that? How to make that C viable for us? How the other formula will be applied? 2 plus 2 always not 4. So how to counter that? So counter should be on a proper format, in a proper format, so that you can say no, this is this because this is this. So in that way you can prove. So somewhere we have tried in this way. So these scopes are there. So depending upon these scopes, we have tried that how to counter all these things. And in this case, particularly we have not given a particular proposal. Rather, we have given an integrated proposal. That means we have not sent that, we have not told that just fire one person and he will die. No, we have in the same way we have told to fire a person. Another way we have also tried that you throw a bomb, and another way another bowman is there. We have also tried that throw a bow towards him. So that there are 2-3 options are there. If one is not getting murdered, so there are 3 ways there, at least one will be murdered. So in that way, there is an integrated approach. कोई भी failure होता है, कोई भी miss case होता है, so that means other ways are there to be implemented. That means failure of one, because of the uncertainties of the system, that's why I have tried that out of this uncertainty, at least one of the way will succeed. And in case particularly, it is very difficult to control hydrology, because hydrology is mostly based on natural process. It is a natural process. And how we are modifying? We are modifying through artificial means. ବର୍ଷା କଣ ଆଗରୁ ନଥିଲା, ସବୁ ଜାଗା ଜିନିଷ ଆଗରୁ ଥିଲା, but we have modified. What we have modified? We have made so many buildings. We have all changed the land use of the agricultural land. Everywhere you will be finding residential lands, plotted schemes, so many things are there. Then how we will be getting impervious parts? So it is very difficult to get impervious parts. That means impervious part, the role of the impervious parts now nullified. Nullified, that means once nullified, then what you are doing? That the rainfall of that area where it will go. And now we are struggling for rainwater harvesting. We are doing so many things. Earlier it was not there. Go to 30 years back, 40 years back, who was caring about this rainwater harvesting? Nobody was there for rainwater harvesting. Now the situation has come up. That why the most of the time now we are also dependent upon the groundwater. Groundwater recharge is highly essential, because even if I recharge here, chances are that I shall not get this water. I am not saving for myself. I am saving for others. And somebody is saving for me. So in that way, the groundwater process continues. It is not my water, but I am saving it. I may not get that. I may not get that. Some else will get that. But I have to save. I have to save for a better interest, greater interest. I have to save the groundwater. So there were rainwater harvesting schemes are there. And mostly, if that will not be that these rainwater harvesting systems will not be there, then what will happen? If there will be no rainwater harvesting structure, we will never try for that. Then what will happen? What will happen? The water will flow in the stream, and that will join at the sea, and we may not get the support of or the profit of that water. That water will flow. Why you are keeping? You are keeping for betterment of the society. But if that will not be kept, then what will happen? That will flow in the stream. And that's why when the interstate waters are there, like Mahanadi water and other rivers water, they were telling that you are unable to keep this water with you. That means we are having very less structures. That's why now the in-stream structure has came, mega lift scheme has came. So many schemes have developed other than this multi-purpose dams. So many other things are developed that you can store the water. Store the water for your use, industrial use, agricultural use, drinking water use. Now the things are moving in that way. So we are having the water resource engineer has lot many scopes. Not only that you just calculate or do the dams or like that. So many things you can do in a go. So these are some of the things. 26 number of water blocking sites in the site we have spotted within the town. That's why in these are the some of the sensitive parts. There is an urgent need to integrate city planning with climate change induced calamities and redevelop the drainage system of the city to pass the excess rainwater and decrease the inundation rate. Decrease the inundation rate. आमे कहूचे हाथी पड़ी आसला चंदका पाखु सम हॉस्पिटल पाखु जे आगुर हाथीर से चंदका हॉस्पिटल पाखरे प्लॉट थिला आमे को जानने सम हॉस्पिटल पाखरे. So those who are from Bhubaneswar, they must be realizing that now elephant is at some hospital, but earlier there was no some hospital. It was the plot of the elephant. So elephant has tried to move to its plot. ता own area को आसला. बर्तमान now you have converted to some hospital. So in that way, water is not the earlier everything was there. Rainfall was there. So many things were there. There is no huge change in the system. That is, Odisha is getting around 1450 mm of rainfall. So that is there. What is changing? That means here I have mentioned that the city with climate change induced calamities. Please, you see the green part. The green part is the climate change induced calamities. That means when I am telling this climate change, remember there is no bigger issue with respect to rain, but the rainy days are reduced. Rainy days reduced means every day is one day will be declared as rainy day when there is rainfall of 2.5 mm. If there is 2.5 mm of rainfall, then it will be declared as a rainy day. But earlier it was around 90 days per year. That means our monsoon starts from June, July, August, September, October. Up to October, these 5 months, nearly 150 days are our monsoon days. Now, can you say June 1, will you get rain? June 15, during our childhood, we have seen during Raja festival, there will the second day, there will be high rainfall with this Ghanghor Awaz of thunderstorm and so many things are there. And farmers will start applying and the schools were remaining closed during May to up to June 15th or the schools will reopen at June 20th. That was the system earlier. Now, is June is a monsoon month? It's not a monsoon month. October, mostly rain is faded out. There is no rain or very reduced rain during October. But the monsoon is now concentrated between July, August, September. So the rain, even if those days will be with very less rainfall at some parts, or if there will be rainfall, the very next day there will be high scorching heat of sun. That is also possible. That's why we always tell that even if we are getting same kind of rainfall, but the runoff is not there. Runoff is not same. So rainfall runoff is getting imbalance due to the temperature also. It is temperature also that is also making it imbalance. But the same kind of rainfall, the runoff will not be there. Suppose today you got 20 mm of rainfall and the kind of runoff you have measured, the next day, even if you are getting 20 mm rainfall and if there will be high heat of sun, then you may not get that. So in that case, there is a difference. Or 2-3 days, you will find even in the rainy season, there is a very hot summer. 2-3 days, for 2-3 days, again there will be rain. So in that way, we are continuing, and our rainy days are now switched to 58 days, 59 days, like that. One person is doing that type of calculation, and we are watching that how for every block or every district, how the rainy days are reducing, how the daily rainfalls are increasing, how 2 day storm. Earlier there was a storm in Odisha, there is a कार्तिक झड़ी मार्गशीर बा मगुशीर झड़ी बोली कुआ हुए जानि मगुशीर मास कार्तिक पर मासटा मार्गशीर मास सो दिस कार्तिक झड़ी मगुशीर झड़ी ये झड़ी खत्म हो गलानी सो दिस झड़ी मीन्स देयर इज ए storm of 2 days 3 days continuous rainfall is there so these type of patterns are getting abolished. Now there will rain will come immediately like that. Days of test play is over. Now it is 50 over or 20 over, and even some parts they are playing 10 overs game. So now the rain is coming. Rain is coming, but what it is doing, that it is doing within 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. So why he will play the test matches like Sabon Jhadi, Margasira Jhadi? Not necessary. So as the rain is playing this type of game, that means what it is doing, that is not allowing more losses. More the duration of the rainfall, the more will be the losses. So in that case, what we are getting, more runoff we are getting. More less losses means more runoff. More runoff means we should be having the conveyance system. ଆମର 50 ପିଲା ହେଇଯାଇଥାନ୍ତି 60 ପିଲା ହେଇଥାନ୍ତି ଆମେ ତ ଗୋଟିଏ ବସ୍ ଆଣିଥିଲୁ सो आइदर ठिया ହେଇକି ଯିବାକୁ ପଡିବ ନହେଲେ ଗୁଡେ ପିଲା ଷ୍ଟ୍ରାଇକ୍ କରିଥାନ୍ତେ କାଲି ଯଦି ଯୋଉ ଇଏରେ ଗଲେ so the kind of run-off practices our streams are getting supported for that kind of run-off that we may or may not have that. So further what we are doing, we are those who are from Bhubaneswar, for them the message is that whether have you seen the Gangua Nala? Have you seen Gangua Nala? If you have not seen, kindly see that Gangua Nala is not a Nala. It is a larger size of stream. Now, the same government people, they have squeezed to this, up to this, at least move out 10 feet ki 12 feet khanda. They have given big concrete walls there. We have seen that is a ବଡ଼ ଧରଣର river ଥିଲା. And the moment they have squeezed this and the rest parts are being occupied by the people. ଗଲା ବେଳେ ଦେଖିବୁ ଏଇ ତୁ ଗଲା ବେଳେ ଦେଖିବୁ ମୁଁ ଯାହା କହୁଛି ବାଁ ପଟକୁ ଅନେଇବୁ and when the moment it is squeezed the rest parts are being occupied by the local people ବା କିଏ ପ୍ଲଟିଂ କରି ତାକୁ ବିକି ସାରିଲେଣି just watch. So in that way, what that water will, how it will accommodate the runoff water. So these are few reasons. Please find it, and from place to place, how it matters. Bhubaneswar has 9 streams, and whether these 9 streams are capable of handling this kind of things. And when I am telling that the rainfall intensity is increasing, intensity of the rainfall is increasing because the rainy days are getting reduced. So intensity of the rainfall is increasing. So how to accommodate those? And we should be opening our streams, but rather what we are doing, we are squeezing our streams. So both way you are contradicting. So for that contradiction, you have to face the urban flooding, and you will be finding that in the TV, person is moving the water from, throwing the water from his house and telling to the TV, "अरे भाई ये तो होगा, ये तो होना ही था, ये तो होना ही था." It is that's why I am recommending that the persons those who are making new houses, please keep your ground floor open. That you keep this ground floor for garage only. Every city, and the time is coming, every city will be open to this urban flooding. So coming to the study, that you see that this is a drain at place that is Sambalpur bhitar city, Modipara. it is a Modipada area. This is the status of the city. And these kind of plastic garbages were earlier not there. And with the changing of the time, these garbages are being developed, and these are the main reason for. And this part is not flowing. First of all, this is not moving. How it will move? How it will move? It's a genuine thing. How it will move rather than it is helping for recharge of the groundwater, even if it is a wastewater. You see that this kind of hyacinths also there. It's a Modipada area. Huh. You see, this is the pattern of the stream. It is for septic, domestic sewage as well as for storm sewage. Pension Pada Sambalpur. And we are with our great teacher, Professor Swain sir. And these are the teams at that time. And we have visited number of streams. And you see the backdrop of these streams are there. You see that whether it is functional or not, you tell me. My irrigation friends are there, but you try to understand that whether it is functioning or not. It's a drainage department ho ya municipality ho, jo bhi ho, whether this is functioning. If this is functioning, at least it is moving, at least some flow is there, but why we are not making it functional? You see, this is also part of the drain, and whether it is functional, how it is functioning, if functioning, how it is functioning. And yes, that these walls, I am telling about these walls. These walls, the moment you have given these walls, that means the rest part you are opening free. Free. That means the people who is residing just after that line, after that wall, they will try to occupy that land. And these cases are there in Bhubaneswar and any other city. The moment you are giving this kind of, it's good that you are channelizing the stream, but at the same time they are occupying. That also you have to take care of. So part of the town, this is a result of this urban flooding, and you see that how the vents are there, and Binakhandi, Dhobijor area, this is the part. And for that reason, what we have done, we have surveyed total area. We have surveyed total area, and this DGPS system is there, and we have gone for survey and realizing how this survey will be useful. That I am showing. This is our survey team. Last year we have surveyed all those. These are now the Rajghat part. Rajghat, now Samleshwari Prakalpore jo Rajghat part is, this is the Rajghat part. And during this survey, they have questioned so many things to us. So many things. Why you are surveying, what is the purpose, why all these things will be there, how, where we will be replaced. And now you see that beautiful Rajghat has come up in those areas. And these are the streams near Mandalia Bridge. It's also near Mandalia Bridge, I think. These are the Rajghat, other side of the Rajghat. Then for this, where from we have collected the data, and perhaps you have understood the scenario of Sambalpur, what kind of the data we need, the rainfall data. For that, we have to obtain the data from IMD or SRC. SRC कहले block रो जो data, that is called SRC, Special Relief Commissioner, and IMD, that India Meteorological Department, the data which are supplying, and Sambalpur and nearby rain gauge stations, and we have categorically got some data and discharge, because this Sambalpur urban flooding depends upon the discharge of the Hirakud dam. That's why we have to obtain the discharge data of Mahanadi Hirakud system. Then, as I have told that the layer impervious layer, pervious layer is getting converted to impervious layer. That means what are the condition at 5 years back, what are the condition 10 years back, and previous year, what is the recent latest time. And madam has, Abhay madam has shown how to obtain the data. By using Google search engine, you can obtain the data, or you can hire from any other sources. You can get all this data, and for that also we have obtained the data from ORSAC sources, and these LULC satellite imagery we have rendered, and for that we have made a tender process in order to make it more authentic. And if somebody was asking me, Rajesh was asking me evaporation data where from get, where we should be getting that. These are we have got from the Sambalpur Hirakud Dam project. We have got the evaporation data. Why evaporation data is needed? Because we have to analyze the losses, and in order to get the runoff, because our modeling will be requiring what is the rate of the evaporation. For your kind information, what I am telling that around we are getting 1450 mm of rainfall, and the same way we are getting around 1100 to 1200 mm of evaporation. That means effective rainfall throughout the year is 250 mm. Per day we are evaporation. Now today there is no rainfall, but there is evaporation. In rainy days, what you are getting, more rainfall you are getting, less evaporation you are getting. So ये कुल मिला के ईयर वाइज देखने से ये होता है अराउंड 1200 1250 mm of evaporation and 1400 1450 mm of rainfall. So most of the things you can imagine that how rainfall is affecting, how evaporation affecting. If the evaporation will not be there, you will not be getting rainfall. So that's why I always tell that these are very mutual losses. These are very mutual losses. If there will be no permeable, no percolation, if there will be no percolation, then how we will be getting water from the groundwater resources? So everything, infiltration, percolation, all these things, evaporation, evapotranspiration, that nature has balanced everything. So these are losses, no doubt. For water balance, these are losses. But for me, for you also, for nature also, these are mutual losses. So the cross section and LSDS of the stream. Cross section means because the cross section we have to obtain, because when we are modeling that how much water should be passing that through that cross section, whether that cross section is adequate or not, for that we have to obtain the cross section data. And longitudinal section, what is that? Because how the river profile is continuing, the stream profile is continuing, for that longitudinal section lengthwise cross section at particular point, there must be, we shall be obtaining the cross section, and naturally the toposets are the hints. So these are some of the cross sections of the stream. You see that the river is now ये इसमें इतने में सिमट गया है, बाकी का छोड़ो, इतने में सिमट गया है. जो पहला है आप देखिए how the cross section is varying. So these are the standard cross sections. Few cross sections I have given. So these are the standard cross sections how the river is being just remaining at that part. Suppose I shall be modeling this, then if I shall suggest that you change the cross section at this year, so that there will be more water carrying capacity of that cross section. That's why we have surveyed the original cross section in order to say you that this cross section is not adequate for that the runoff, for catering the rainfall of the that cross section. So you have to change this cross section or modify that cross section. So it is also another cross section, and it is for on part you see that how this cross section is varying. And this is the longitudinal section, river starting from a higher point and then gradually going down, going down, going down, and in this way it is coming down. So this is the LS. Every time you are doing this kind of modeling, you need LS, you need cross section. Unless otherwise you are not aware of this LS and cross section, you are unable to understand that what is the morphological plan, and this morphological plan is enough for urban flooding or not. And if possible, the cross sections will be that is in your hand. It is also another LS, and these two LSs you can mark that the LS of this river and LS of this stream are different, and how it is different you can realize that. So these are the geospatial database. That means when we are talking about GIS and remote sensing, the kind of data we should be having with us minimum to handle this kind of problem. What kind of geo database you should be having that is related to remote sensing GIS? Because remote sensing GIS plays very important role in this type of case. Because here I have mentioned that the kind of satellite, kind of data we have used here, the kind of data we have used, and this data, and maximum we have taken the 4 meter spatial resolution, and below that ये नहीं होता था. So mostly we have taken this kind of information in order to find out the LULC map. जहाँ पर ज़्यादातर था दारोमदार LULC के ऊपर था. That means depending upon the changes in the LULC, we have also kept this runoff coefficient factor stable or varying. So basing on that, we have calculated basing on this remote sensing information, and we have applied in our modeling. So these are, you see the drainage map of this Sambalpur town. It is for town. You can recognize now those are from very close places. You can see that how the streams are coming and how the streams are falling into. This is Mahanadi River, and the streams are there, and the streams are falling into the Mahanadi system. And the part where it is green color, blue color, it is shown that you can see that the water is getting impounded there, and there is pumping system. And basing on that pumping system, the water is thrown to the Mahanadi river, and in that way it is continuing. But you are also watching more green spots are there, green squares are there, blue squares are there. These blue squares are nothing but the ponds. Blue squares are nothing but ponds, and our main target remains that we have to rejuvenate the ponds. The moment we are rejuvenating the ponds, that means what you are doing, you are increasing the carrying capacity of the pond. Yesterday Rajesh was asking me that what is the difference between W index and phi index. So phi index and W index, you can see that picture, that what is phi index, W index are nothing but our infiltration indices, broadly infiltration indices. Because when we are calculating, what we are doing, from a rainfall, what should be the runoff, that we are calculating. So from a rainfall, what should be the runoff, that we are calculating. And how we are finalizing this phi index and W index? Initially, from a recorded source, that means for this rainfall, this was the rainfall, that we are, this was the runoff. This rainfall, for 10 mm of rainfall, 100 mm was the runoff, or 30 mm was the runoff. From that, we are balancing that for 80 mm rainfall, this will be the runoff. So from that means others are all losses. And this phi index doesn't understand any other thing rather than the core losses it will understand. W index will understand that these green spot, blue spot should be filled fast. Should be filled. That means whatever the rain has occurred, it has filled all these blue spots. तब तो फ्लो होगा. पहले तो अपना आदमी खाएंगे, उसके बाद का जो खाएगा. पहले इतना तो उनको आइडिया है. जो पहले रेनफॉल होगा कहां भरेगा, ये वाले डिप्रेशन स्टोरेज में भरेगा, उसके बाद वो फ्लो होगा. हाई इंडेक्स बोलता है ये सब बराबर है, इसमें कुछ नहीं है, बिल्कुल इट इज ए प्लेन. लेकिन डब्ल्यू इंडेक्स समझता है अरे नहीं नहीं, इसमें तो 40 पॉइंट्स है, पहले ये पॉइंट्स को भरने दो. So this is the basic difference between phi index and W index. Please remember, because my teacher at Roorkee, he was explaining in that way. So that's why we have remembered. Most of the things, routing हो या fraud हो या कुछ भी हो, उनका समझाने का तरीका कुछ अलग था. So that's why we have remembered, and every time we are not seeing the book. That's why it is our remember. So please remember that it is the phi index as a whole. It has considered everything as a plane, and there is no pond, no depression, no other losses. And whatever the rainfall is there, this must the runoff, and from that phi index we are calculating. And W index will always be less than phi index, because W index has taken the water which has been deposited in the pond. That's why it is a low item. But in one case, the phi index will be W index. That is a question in your different examination. You tell me, those who are preparing for different examination, in one case, phi index will be equal to W index. Mo sangre akhi ke milani. Prashna pacharibi. Master mu. In one case, the phi index, remember, for your examination purpose or your interview purpose, the phi index will be equal to W index. Kete bale? देखो, हम यहाँ बैठे हैं प्रोग्राम के लिए, और खाना उधर है, और जब तक हम लोग खाना खा लेंगे, बाकी का खाना कोई भी खाए, हमें कोई मतलब है? कोई मतलब नहीं. जब हमारा जेब भर जाएगा, हमारा पेट भर जाएगा, बाकी कौन कुछ हो रहा है मैं देख नहीं रहा. तो इसीलिए जब यहाँ का पॉइंट फिलअप हो जाएगा, उसके बाद जो बारिश होगा वहां पर phi इंडेक्स जो है, W इंडेक्स वही है. ये तो पहली बार बारिश नहीं हुआ है, 10 बार बारिश होगा क्या 10 बार पॉइंट भरेगा? नहीं, पहले 1-2 बार 3 बार में पॉइंट भर जाएगा। जैसे हमारा पॉन्ड और डिप्रेशन स्टोरेज भर जाएगा, उसके बाद जो बारिश होगा पॉन्ड और लेगा क्या? आप एक बार खाने खाने के बाद दोबारा खाना खा पाएंगे क्या? तो आपका पेट भर गया। तो उसके बाद क्या होता है, हाई इंडेक्स जो है डब्ल्यू इंडेक्स वही है। हाँ? उसके बाद तो जो मिलेगा वो रन ऑफ में चला जाएगा। तो एक ही कंडीशन में, जब याद रखिए ये वाला एबीसीडी जो जहां पर टिक मारते हैं ना, वो इसी के लिए बढ़िया अच्छा है। तो जब ये भर जाएंगे उसके बाद जो बारिश होता है 2, 3, 4 एट द मंथ ऑफ सितंबर ऑल द पॉन्ड्स आर फुल। सो उसके बाद जो होता है फाइव इंडेक्स जो है वो डब्ल्यू इंडेक्स वही है। सो इन दैट ऑल्सो यू हैव टू मैनेज योर इनफिल्ट्रेशन इंडिसेस। काली राकेश कहला बोली ମୁଁ କହିଲି। So land use land cover map, this is the land use land cover map, and generally we consider in a pattern built up area and built up residential area and wasteland in that way, because we have to categorize. Because why I am doing all these things, I have to show that this is another map of land use land cover in details, and details because we have to categorize main cell, soft cell in that way, because sir was telling that how to recognize a particular basin, particular pond, so 01, 08 in that way. So these kind of things are there when you are making a subheading. It is also another land use land cover map, and for different purpose you can use different variety of this land use land cover map. And these are the flood prone areas. We have seen that in case of Sambalpur, these parts we have mostly concentrated. This is rainfall data earlier we have discussed, and for that PMP atlas is very useful in order to disintegrate the rainfall data, and these are the some of the maximum rainfall values as we have got from the IMD, and from that basic is the IDF curve. By this time I have made a number of IDFs for different cities of Odisha as well as for other states, because IDF बनाने का तरीका हमारे स्टूडेंट को भी मालूम हो गया है, ये लोग बनाते हैं आईडीएफ। आईडीएफ क्या होता है ना, इंटेंसिटी ड्यूरेशन फ्रीक्वेंसी, बिकॉज whatever the you are making a drain design, pipe design, or this urban drainage design, because these type of things are very highly essential. That means suppose you are planning for a municipality drain, what you are watching, you tell me that contractor will be doing the very thick walls, because they are interested in thick walls, and they understand why then, and we understand why they make thick walls. It's not necessary. And the passage, the opening for the water, these are very small, but the walls are very strong. Madam are there, madam achanti, madam ka agar mu kon kahibi, so they make this type of huge walls. And the concreting etc., there's a very fine higher precision they will be making, which are not necessary on my point of view. Because when we are not understanding how much rainfall will be there, and for what is the runoff you are doing, then what is the meaning of making these kind of huge cross sections? And our Bharti madam of architecture, she has developed this network, and we are working together for Sundargarh city. We have developed another network for this drainage system. We have taken this urban flooding. This IDF we have considered, and basing on that IDF, we have developed another type of drain. That drain is not so thick. That is not so much. It need not be so strong. Jetiki usual setiki. But rather we have applied some green technique so that the drain will itself also allow infiltration. एटी इनफिल्ट्रेशन नहीं, तुम जो भाया वाल दौच रड देकरी अमुक देकरी भितर पनिंग करके, and because all these sentences are there for making the bills, all these items are there, but it is not necessary. So this idea, first of all you have to concentrating on this idea, भाई कितने का ये डिजाइन होना चाहिए, ये घर किसके लिए बन रहा है, हाथी के लिए, आदमी के लिए. So the things are different. This is a particular, this room has been designed for a particular purpose. इसको और रेसिडेंशियल रूम नहीं बना सकते इसको. आप तो पर्पस ढूंढिए, इसका आईडीएफ से ले लीजिए, आप कितने साल के लिए डिजाइन कर रहे हैं, कितना एमएम पर आवर के लिए डिजाइन कर रहे हैं, इसका प्रीवियस रेनफॉल का डाटा के साथ इसको बना दीजिए, ये वाले ग्राफ को बना दीजिए, तब डिसीजन होगा भाई ये इसके लिए बनेगा, ये 4 आवर ड्यूरेशन रेनफॉल के लिए बनेगा, ये 20 ईयर रिटर्न पीरियड के लिए बनेगा, ये इतने डेप्थ के लिए इंटेंसिटी के लिए बन रहा है, उसको फाइनल कर दीजिए। और ये जब तक ये मिल जाएगा उसको लेके आप ड्रेन का डिजाइन करिए। ड्रेन का डिजाइन करने का जैसे डिजाइन स्पीड हम बोलते हैं, व्हाट इज द डिजाइन स्पीड ऑफ दिस रोड, व्हाट इज द नाउ द रेलवे लाइन डिजाइन स्पीड्स आर गेटिंग इंक्रीज, what is the design discharge of the spillway of Hirakud, why there is additional spillway. So all these things we have to understand, because the designing, how to design all these things. So the moment we are thinking the design of this thing, that means the IDF is essential, intensity, duration, frequency, that I have to understand, and for every city that IDF is different, and that you have to consider basing on the rain gas stations of your area. You are having the idea of a rain gas station, then prepare this idea and ask your people that भाई कितना लेना है, नहीं तो फिर आपको पकड़ लेंगे, हम तो इतना नहीं बोले थे, आप कैसे कर दिए, फिर बहुत सारे बात। तो यू जस्ट कंसिडर दैट भैया हमारे पास इतना पैसा है, इतने के लिए इतना बनाएंगे, और रिटर्न पीरियड इतना होगा तो ड्रेनेज इतना बनेगा, नॉट नेसेसरली। और somebody will asking you, अरे ये बना दो, इसका 2 फीट का इसका कर दो, इसको कर दो, हाथ में से काट देगा, भाई किस बात का। एंड आई हैव सीन दैट इन भुवनेश्वर, वी आर वर्किंग एट रसुलगढ़ एरिया, पड़ासुनी एरिया, वी हैव सीन दैट द ड्रेन्स विल कम, इतना नैरो से आएगा, फिर इतना चौड़ा हो जाएगा, फिर नैरो हो जाएगा, इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन जितना घर वाले ने जितना जगह छोड़े, इसके चलते चलता है, इसमें कोई डिजाइन काम नहीं करता है। GGP colony particularly, I am talking about GGP colony. Earlier they were giving us to the car, भाई नयापल्ली रे काम कर दियंते बोली, मु कहली भाई हाथ जोड़ी देबी, बड़ बड़ अफसर सब अछंती, माडी बसिए मते जाके धूली कर देबे मते, मु अन्य कोठी दियो। So they have decided that you work in GGP colony. So I have taken my students to GGP colony and we have worked there. And the beautiful scenes I have seen that at GGP colony, the drains are moving at the sweet will of the people. The place they are living for the drain system, that depends on them. Mu kete jaga chhadi bi drain like, it is not based on this kind of calculations. So we have to also think about these calculations, and those who are also working on this sector, please remember that, because earlier mu kahichi am chhatra manaku, earlier I have worked in a Lucknow Development Authority mu gote kamare jaithili, and in that what we have seen that the buildings were not there. They have made a office, and office was there in a very big complex. There was one office, there was roads, there was drains, no houses, and they have invited us to validate those drains and just calculate the drainage system, whether it is working or not. So I was with the IIT Roorkee team, and I was the person, we have categorized the entire area, and every drainage system was according, whether it is according to that design floor or not. They have made no houses, only one office was there. But what we are doing, we are making houses, we are making roads, we are making everything, then thinking about the drain. So naturally there will be urban flooding. इसमें कोई आपको रोक नहीं सकता है. But what they have done, they have made the drainage system earlier and then gone for the houses. That is Lucknow Development Authority, done by Lucknow Development Authority, and it was near Sahara Sri's house. Part I remember. Sahara Sri, Subrat Rai. So it is of Dhankoda block. Sambalpur mostly it is covering by Dhankoda block. So the IDFs are there, and another method, L movement is there. So basing on that, we have calculated the design intensity. So runoff calculation, because this urban flooding, that's why I am telling that runoff the same way, but we have adapted two-way base. Why two-way base? Because one is peak runoff and another is volume of runoff. Peak runoff is for design of the drainage system. Volume of the runoff, how to operate it. That means kitna isko rokna hai. Volume of the runoff depends upon the total rainfall of the year, total rainfall of the day, or a particular storm, 2-3 days or like that. But this peak runoff, that is for designing of the system. That means I have to design the cross section, I have to design the pipe system, I have to design the pipe system to cater the peak runoff. ଯେମିତି ଆମେ ଶୁଣିଛେ ଆଇନଷ୍ଟାଇନ ଯୋଉ ପଢୁଥିଲେ ତାଙ୍କ ସଦାବେଳେ ଟେବୁଲ ପାଖରେ ଦିଟା ବିଲେଇ ଆସି ଭାରି ଡିଷ୍ଟର୍ବ କରୁଥିଲେ ଆଇନଷ୍ଟାଇନ ତାଙ୍କର ପୋଷା ବିଲେଇ। ଆଇନଷ୍ଟାଇନ କଣ କଲେ, ଗୋଟେ ମା ବିଲେଇ ଗୋଟେ ଛୋଟ ବିଲେଇ ଥିଲା। ଆଇନଷ୍ଟାଇନ କହିଲେ ଏ ବିଲେଇ ଆସନ୍ତୁ, ମୁଁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ତଡ଼ି ଦେବି ପଳେଇ ଯାଆନ୍ତୁ, ସେ ପଳଉ ନଥିଲେ। ତେଣୁ ସେ ସେଇଠି ବୁଲୁଥିଲେ ଘଣ୍ଟା ଘଣ୍ଟି କରୁଥିଲେ ତାଙ୍କ କାଗଜପତ୍ର ଫୋପାଡୁଥିଲେ। ଆଇନଷ୍ଟାଇନ କଣ କଲେ ନା ତାଙ୍କ ଯୋଉ ଟେବୁଲ ପାଖରେ ବସୁଥିଲେ ସେ ୱାଲରେ ଦିଟା କଣା କଲେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଗୋଡେଇବେ କଣା ବାଟେ ପଳେଇବେ। ତେଣୁ ସେ କଣ କଲେ ନା ଗୋଟେ ବଡ କଣା କଲେ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଛୋଟ କଣା କଲେ। ବଡ କଣା କାହା ଲାଗି ନା ମା ବିଲେଇ ଲାଗି, ଛୋଟ କଣା କାହା ଲାଗି ନା ଛୋଟ ବିଲେଇ ଲାଗି। ତାଙ୍କ ଆଇଡିଆରେ ସେ ସେମିତି କଲେ। ତମେ ସେମିତିଆ କରିବ କି? କାହିଁକି ନା ଆମେ ଆଇନଷ୍ଟାଇନ ନୁହେଁ। ତାହେଲେ କଣ ଆମେ କୋଉ ଭଳିଆ କଣାଟେ କରିବା? ଗୋଟିଏ କଣା କରିବା ଯୋଉଥିରେ ମା ବିଲେଇ ଯାଇପାରିବ ହେଲା। ଛୁଆ ବିଲେଇ ତ ଆପେ ଆପେ ପଳେଇବ, ଛୁଆ ବିଲେଇଟା ତ ଛୋଟିଆଟା। ତେଣୁକରି ସେ ମା ବିଲେଇ ଲାଗି ଗୋଟେ ଛୋଟ ବିଲେଇ ଲାଗି କରିଥିଲେ। ଏଡେ ବଡ ଲୋକ ସେ ଯାହା କରିଥିଲା ଆମେ ସେୟା କହୁଛୁ। ଏନିୱେ that was the system at that time. So here we have made two ways. So one is peak runoff, another is for total volume of the runoff. Total volume of the runoff, because total volume of the runoff kale kahinki na this Sambalpur city is related to a pumping system. That's why total volume of runoff re mote jetebale idea hebo mu pumping system ko operate kari paribi. Peak runoff eithilagi I can design the cross sections, I can design any type of system where water will be released. So in that way, that's why we have gone for two-way calculations here. And another thing is that not only that, Hirakud gate opening, I have told that 22 to 25 gates the worst case scenario will be generated. So I shall be making myself ready for the worst case scenario. That means the border bill lagi jo hole ta darkar, sei hole ta mate darkar. ବା ବଡ ବିଲେଇ ଯଦି କହିବ ମୁଁ ଛୋଟ ବିଲେଇଟାକୁ କାନ୍ଧରେ ବସେଇକି ନେବି ତାହେଲେ ସେଇଟା ଗୋଟେ worst case scenario ହବ। ତେଣୁ ତା ପିଠିରେ ଧରିକି ଯିବା ପାଇଁ ଯେତିକି କଣାଟିଏ ଦରକାର ମୁଁ ସେତିକି not necessarily I shall be making two holes in the wall. So the worst case scenario ଲାଗି ମତେ ready ହେବାକୁ ପଡିବ। Worst case scenario happens when Hirakud discharge exceeds 4 lakh cubic and there is a heavy downpour at Sambalpur. ସମ୍ବଲପୁରରେ ବର୍ଷା ହେଲା, ହୀରାକୁଦରେ ଏତିକିଟା ଗେଟ୍ ଖୋଲା ହେଇଛି। And fortunately we have got that opportunity during 16th August, 17th August 2022. So I have beautiful photographs taken by my students there. So I shall be showing that. So these are the some of the rainfalls during that period of the time. And these are the, you see that 13 you see the discharges, and these numbers are gate opening. Gate opening, opening of gates are there. So the rainfall is there and the gate openings are there. These are some of the values there, and you see the flood. That is the flood of 17th August. 17th August, I am at gate number 1. I am at gate number 1, and because these are what is the gate is doing? This gate is releasing the water to Mahanadi system. And the what is the status of the gate? Now gate is releasing water to city. It is giving Mahanadi water is entering through the holes, the gaps to the urban. Eh? Sanjay, Sanjay, hello. That's why Mahanadi is releasing now the water to the urban area. Rather, the urban area, the streams are releasing the water to Mahanadi system. The date is there, the latitude, longitude is there, photograph is there. Students, he is now working at NIT Rourkela. The students are there. So the things are true when it is 16th August and 17th August. And this is the status. You see, I was telling about the walls, Now the walls are occupied by the slums, the slum area, झोपड़ी आ गया इसमें और फ्लडिंग हुआ है। बोलेंगे अभी पानी घुस गया अभी घर में, तो पानी तो घुसना ही था, प्यार तो होना ही था, तो ये पानी तो घुसना ही था, तो ऐसे हो जाता है और ये चोकिंग हो जाता है। और कहीं भी हम लोग रास्ता नहीं रखेंगे, शायद हम इसमें थोड़ा भी रास्ता रखते ये पानी अंदर आ पाता, ये भी हम नहीं किए। तो इसमें ये बिल्कुल रियल टाइम पिक्चर है, 16 तारीख 17 तारीख अगस्त का सब फिगर्स है। And this is the status. You see, the water is now moving back. River water. This is Mahanadi water entering to the city. It is not allowing the water. And how your pumping efficiency, whatever your pumping efficiency, and when we have visited them, that how the pumps are working, I should not be telling. because they need a particular height of the water over the pump in order to get operated. The system was like in that way. It will not operate at this level. They will wait that water should be increasing up to this level, then their pumps will be operating. And if these things will be there, then how this urban flooding will not be occurring. So these are some of the scenario we have visualized. And then you see, this is near some Mahadev temple is there. 17-8 ka figure hai. The pumps are there, very huge pumps are there, portable pumps, and whenever required, they are putting these pumps. These pumps are working, no doubt. Those who are, perhaps you have seen that if you are moving at that time at the ring road, perhaps you have seen all those. There are very general scenarios at the ring road where this kind of heavy pumps are there and this being done by municipality, because और कोई तरीका नहीं है यहाँ. पंपिंग स्टेशन का, बिना खंडी का पंपिंग स्टेशन का कैपेसिटी यही है, ये सब है, ये सच में ये काम कर रहे हैं कि नहीं है मालूम. हाँ, दिस इज बिना खंडी एंड 10 नंबर्स ऑफ पंप्स आर देयर, 150 एचपी का कैपेसिटी है, बाकी अरेंजमेंट पूरा ठीक ठाक है. डिजाइन डिस्चार्ज 353 क्यूसेक है, दैट मीन 10 क्यूमेक है इनका डिजाइन डिस्चार्ज, 10 क्यूमेक का डिजाइन डिस्चार्ज है. और ये अगर काम करते 10 क्यूमेक का वाटर जनरेट होना मुश्किल है. 353 क्यूसेक मतलब 10 क्यूमेक का वाटर है. अगर ये चलना शुरू हो जाएंगे सच में, तो ये इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट. ये अर्बन फ्लडिंग के लिए नहीं. बाकी का क्या 282 क्यूसेक, 282 क्यूसेक मतलब ये इसका भी कैपेसिटी 8 क्यूमेक का है. बड़े केनाल की तरह ये पानी लेके उठाएंगे, फेंकेंगे उस तरह. सो दिस आर द, एक है बालीबंधा में और एक बिना खंडी में, ये दोनों इनका पंपिंग सिस्टम है. ये पंप का अरेंजमेंट देखिए, आई वाज टेलिंग अबाउट दैट, ये पर्टिकुलर लेवल तक आना चाहिए और इसके ऊपर कितना लेवल आना है ये मेरे को मालूम नहीं. दैट पार्ट आई डोंट नो, बट दीज आर द सेट ऑफ द पंप्स. सेट ऑफ द पंप, ये पंप हाउस पहले भरेगा, उसके बाद ये चलेगा. तो दीज आर इनसाइड ऑफ द पंपिंग सिस्टम एरिया. Yes, this person, and we have honored him. We have honored this person. He is a gentleman from the local area, but he has given me a very good idea. Sir, ऐसा नहीं आप करिए. He was just engaged in this pumping station, and he was telling me, sir, ଆପଣ କଣ କରୁଛନ୍ତି? ମୁଁ କହିଲି ଏମିତି ପିଲାଙ୍କୁ ନେଇକି ଆସୁ. ମୁଁ ଭାବିଲି କିଏ ବାଡେଇ ପକେଇବ ବୋଲି ମୁଁ ଡରିକିରି କହିଲି. ମୁଁ କହିଲି ଭାଇ ଏମିତି ଏମିତି ଆସିଛୁ, ପିଲା ସବୁ ଆମେ ରିସର୍ଚ୍ଚ ଲାଗି ଆସିଛୁ, ଆଉ ମୁଁ କହିଲିନି କୋଉ କାମରେ ଆସୁଛୁ. ସେ କହିଲା ଆଉ ଯଦି ଆସିଛନ୍ତି ତାହେଲେ ତାଙ୍କ ହାତରେ ସବୁ ଲୋକ ଅଛନ୍ତି ନା. ଏଇ ଟାଇମରେ ଭେରି ସେନ୍ସିଟିଭ ଟାଇମ, when people are suffering, then at that time you cannot make your research. So you have to think, because I am from water resource department, I understand during the plight how to work with the people. You have to be one of them, otherwise it is very difficult to work. So I have told this person that bhai कौन आज्ञा केमती कौन एमती पंप चलছে एमती से कहला नाइ सर एटा भूल करछन. What is the mistake they are doing? Sir, if they will make a drain in this way, that the drain will be continuing along the ring road, then that drain will take most of the water to your Puttibandh or Binakhandi. So why you are not planning in that way? Well, yes, I shall be giving a suggestion. And fortunately, we have invited the chief engineers, we have invited the municipality people, so many peoples of Hirakud Dam, we have invited to this place. And in that, I have shown that whatever this person has told. And fortunately, he has also received my call and came to this place. We have honored him. We have honored him, this person. So, Gupta ji उनका नाम है. क्या Gupta ji भूल गया हूँ. And Gupta ji उनका नाम है. तो Gupta ji को हम बुलाए थे. Gupta ji also presented that, yes, you should be giving this system so that a drain should be carrying the water along the ring road and putting at a place, and there you develop your pumping system. You can increase your pumping. Go to Baliban, there is a pond like thing, and that pond is silted. The water is there, water is getting deposited there, and that pond is getting silted, and there are pumping system is there. At Binakhandi, Baliband, the system is there. But we have to develop, we have to rethink about that pumping system. And why the water is coming back? Even if you are making, you will make so many choking systems, gap filling systems, so many things you will be doing, the water will pass. But the way we should be throwing the water to that side, river side, that should be efficient. In that way, you should be thinking. And then it is not a problem. You can remove the water. And the drain should be also functional. Best thing is that drain should be functional. So ड्रेन को फंक्शनल करना सबसे बड़ी बात. ड्रेन जब तक फंक्शनल नहीं होंगे, ये पानी जब तक नहीं जाएगा, तो जैसे ड्रेन शुड बी मोस्टली फंक्शनल एंड यू हैव टू मेक इट ऑपरेट. And naturally, you understand that how to make understand the population growth. The more will be the population growth, more will be requirement of the infrastructure. The infrastructure means road है, building है, ये हमारे लिए infrastructure है. The more infrastructure will be there, more imperviousness will be there. More impervious means more runoff. So in that way, that means we should be catering the things up to 2041, 2031. These are the scenario, and things are going. These people, those who are BTech now, they will be watching that 2031 is very close. 2041 is another close, and in that way, the population growth will be there. Population growth means more infrastructure, more requirement of the land, and when you don't have, then what to do? So I have told that we have worked for two-way runoff calculation. In one way, we have used SWMM software. Another way, for volume calculation, we have SCSCN method with us. So SCSCN method is a good method, and in that way, we have calculated SWMM software that will tell the QP value, what is the requirement of what is the highest discharge of particular area for a particular rainfall, how your system is working, that will be shown by the SWMM software. And oil requirement how setting and this SCSCN curve, mostly the inputs are related to curve number. Curve number means, that means curve number relates to the perviousness, imperviousness of an area, that means it is related to runoff generation capacity. More the curve number, more the runoff generation. More the curve number, more the runoff generation. That means curve number of area is also changing depending upon the land use, land cover of the city. So this SCSCN curve we have utilized, and we have utilized the SWMM. This stormwater management mode we have used, and for that runoff generation we have done, and how it is operating, and in this input data is getting followed in this way. What are the inputs we have made? DM, meteorological data, sub-catchment area, nodes, and background image, that thing we have done, and then we have made a simulation over that software, and the water elevation profile, time series plots, scatter plots, all these plots are made available to us. And basing on the output of this software, we have planned that this is our breakup of this town, and this way the nodes are there and the connection pipes are there connected. We have connected through channels. These are artificially made by us, and it will show that for a particular precipitation intensity. That means earlier in the IDF curve, I have shown that this is the intensity of a rainfall. For this intensity of a rainfall, how it will be operating? For particular, suppose you are telling that 20 mm per hour का rainfall होगा, तो 20 mm per hour का rainfall होने से what will be the impact on the system? That can be planned. And particularly when we are planning for so many things, the authorities, those who are involved in the planning system, they will tell, sir इसको इतने में रखिए, ताकि ये हमारे समझ में आ सके या हम लोग उसको कर सके. तो हम उसी के हिसाब से डिजाइन करते हैं. भाई मैक्सिमम इतना है, लेकिन अलाउबल इतना है, इसके आगे नहीं. So as I have told that curve number, we are planning for curve number, and when we are doing with SCSCN curve number is mostly because we all have read about the SCSCN curve, where the curve number plays very important role. So we have designed it on 2 year, 5 year, 10 year, 25 year. So in this way, generally ये इसका base है, that is the design hydrograph related to rainfall. So this design hydrograph we have taken, and we have planned and modeled the Sambalpur city in our way. So these are the breakup of the LULC. These LULC have broken to different parts, and the area we have calculated in agriculture. Uh, the area and other things we have calculated in this way, and these are from the remote sensing maps. How remote sensing maps are useful? By this time, you might be realizing that these are very helpful, because the hydrology here, the main scope of our study is how to integrate hydrology with GIS. Not only GIS is there, I always tell my students, GIS is not a map mapping software. It is a good kind of integration you can utilize for the modeling. When you are utilizing it for modeling, then that will be useful, not used for map making. Map making, so many other softwares there, you can use that, but output you can show in a map making purpose, no doubt. But when you are integrating it, its power is enormous. Enormous. नहीं हाथी की घर रखी खाली ये कले कौन हाथी काम लगा काठ गड़ हमको करिवो राकेश गुटे की कथि दो. So these are some of the land use land cover of the area, and as a gross I have shown that these are the gross land use land cover of that area. And the concluding remarks are that necessary data like DM, satellite imagery, LULC, ये सब चाहिए, जियो टैगिंग इंफॉर्मेशन, एंड ये सब होने के बाद जो होता है, that means in a modeling you have to show many things in a overall way, because here the concept is that what is the requirement of the people. You have to understand the requirement of the society क्या है इसमें. रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ द सोसाइटी क्या है. भुवनेश्वर के लिए रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ सोसाइटी, संबलपुर के लिए रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ सोसाइटी. मेन कॉन्सेप्ट इज दैट I want that urban flooding, but the flood should not be touching my home, not your home. And if it is touching your home, then I am happy. So I have developed one concept that when you are unhappy, I am happy, and I am you are happy when I am unhappy. So that is the concept. So that is mostly related that मेरा मुझ में ना हो लेकिन पड़ोसन का लॉस हो जाए, ये हमारा मेन थीम है. तो ये लेकिन हम इस कॉन्सेप्ट में मेरा भी ना हो पड़ोसन का ना हो, लेकिन दुख लगता है तब जब मेरा लॉस होता है पड़ोसन का नहीं होता है, तो दुख तब आता है. तो यू हैव टू कंसीडर दैट मैं भी बचूं मेरा पड़ोसन भी बचे, जो कतई नहीं हो सकता है. So these are the some of the things that now presently I shall be informing you that VSSUT Bulla is engaged in urban flooding of almost all cities of Odisha. That kind of letter we have got from different departments that most of the cities, two companies they are mostly doing, and they have invited us as the resource person, and we are working with them, and most of the urban cities or cities we are doing the urban flooding. So case to case is different. We are now presently working in Redakol, we are working in Keonjhar, we are working in Chandbali and Kuchinda, and so many other cities we are working. And for the same, I have told that city to city, urban place to urban place, these are varying. So you have to consider in that way. Not only, it is not a generalized way. So when you are working in some other city, you have to also think at that concept. Pune is somewhat different from our plain city. Our Bhubaneswar is a different kind of city. Pune is a different kind of city. So you have to consider the area, the geographical condition, the morphological condition of the streams are different. And few places are very close to, like this is close to Mahanadi. But what about Bombay? Bombay, there is a heavy rainfall during 2005, July 27 perhaps. That's around 900 mm rainfall in a 24 hours period. And there is one stream, that is very small stream, what is that name, I have forgotten. That stream was the main source, that it is scattering, taking the water to the ocean, Arabian Sea. But when that stream is mostly occupied the Bangar wala, जो जरी लुहा स्क्रैप वाला, से माने मोस्टली से सिटी जो स्ट्रीम टाको ऑक्युपाई करथिले. तेणु जुलाई 2005 जुलाई 27 जुलाई रे जो अर्बन फ्लडिंग टा हे गला सेटा बिकॉज़ माने बॉम्बे को थोई देला पूरा एकदम. द एयरपोर्ट एरोप्लेन जाका भासिया स्टेज को पळे आसे. So kind of rainfall there beyond imagination. 981 mm in 24 hours. And you have perhaps you are watching that Bangalore, the same case, Bangalore, Chennai, same case, same type of case. Bhubaneswar is a regular case. Every time you see that ISKCON temple, होगा, ये तो होना ही था. क्योंकि the passage that they have not given enough passage when there is a flyover, the passage were choked. They should be adjusting in that way. The modeling should be started in that way. How to remove the water from ISKCON Mandir to other side. And perhaps Cuttack is a different case. Cuttack because Cuttack is being surrounded by 2-3 rivers, Mahanadi, Karjodi. And when there will be enough water in the rainfall water and Mahanadi is flooding, then how water will be removed to Mahanadi, Karjodi? Then there will be urban flooding. That's why JICA has made the pumping system. JICA, the organization who is working is JICA. JICA has made a pumping system. And I have remembered that when JICA has come to us for a vetting case in 2012, I was in the irrigation department, and then at that time we were not interested for this pumping system. And these people, they told us, then if there will be no pumping system, you tell the alternatives. फिर मर गए, फंस गए. इरिगेशन डिपार्टमेंट में अगर कंप्लेन करने वाले बहुत है, लेकिन जब पूछेंगे भाई इसका अल्टरनेटिव लिख दो, कोई नहीं लिखेगा. कोई नहीं लिखेगा. भाई ये नहीं होगा, ठीक है, मानते हैं ये नहीं होगा. क्या होगा आप लिख दीजिए. कोई नहीं लिखेगा. मेरा बस हम सब पीछे हट गए. तो जो है वही चलने दो. तो पंपिंग सिस्टम बिकॉज उस पे पास अभी मैं रियलाइज करता हूँ भाई अल्टरनेटिव क्या है. पंपिंग सिस्टम ही हो पाएगा. देखिए नेदरलैंड हॉलैंड एक ऐसा स्टेट है जो कंट्री है. इट इज जस्ट द सी लेवल इज हायर देन द ग्राउंड लेवल. एंटायर कंट्री इज बिलो द सी लेवल. And they have made polders. That means they have made a ring bandha around their country. That's why they are remaining safely. Otherwise, they are just the level is down than that of the sea level. So Cuttack is a similar case. So you have to develop this pumping system. And ଆମର ଏଠି ସମ୍ବଲପୁରରେ pumping system ଛଡା alternative କିଛି ନାହିଁ. Alternative जो ଅଛି ଯଦି ମତେ କୁହ, what should be the alternative? हम इस alternative को कैसे plan करेंगे? And particularly for this type of मतलब worst case scenario, how to develop? Because the flood तब होगा जब rainy season में होगा. Rainy season में तो बारिश होगा. अभी का बारिश का तो कोई ये नहीं. So in that way, city to city, case to case, river to river, urban place to urban place, the flooding will differ. The flooding scenario and its removal processes will be different. But in the book, we have read many systematic principles, many systematical methods. So that's why you add up or you conglomerate, you just add on 2-3 things so that you can add up at least practice at least 1 or 2 systems. आप उसको लेके काम करिए, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. Processes are there, you can adapt those processes and you can justify the how to prevent in your way the flood, urban flooding or city, urban flooding or riverine flooding also. Because riverine floodings are now getting reduced. बहुत कमी गलानी. आउ कोन रिवर फ्लड अछि. बट 2013 रे गोटे बारिपदारे फ्लड हेतिला. हमरो क्लाउड ब्रस्ट हेतिला. कोठी ना एठी हेतिला. को हमर जो सिमिलपाळ. So Budhabadanga has flooded 2013 Thailand pare. It was around 26-27th October. There was a very heavy flood in Baripada city. ତେଣୁ ବାରିପଦା ସିଟିରେ ମଧ୍ୟ ହେଇଥିଲା. ତେଣୁକରି ଆମେ ସେଟା କ୍ଲାଉଡ ବ୍ରଷ୍ଟ ହେଲା. କ୍ଲାଉଡ ବ୍ରଷ୍ଟ ଲାଗି ମନେ ରଖିଥା, ଯଦି 50 mm per hour ରୁ intensity ରୁ ଅଧିକା flood rain ହୁଏ, then we generally categorize it in the cloud burst manner. ତେଣୁ ଆମେ ତାକୁ cloud burst ହିସାବରେ consider କରୁ. Cloud burst ବି mostly କେତେ ଜାଗାରେ ହଉଛି, but it is mostly Himachal, Uttarakhand ବା J&K ଏଇ ମାନେ ବେଶୀ prone to cloud burst. Because ସେମାନଙ୍କର ଯୋଉ ହିଲ୍ ଉପରେ ସବୁ ଘର ଫର କରୁଛନ୍ତି ଏବଂ ଏଇ ଟାଇପ ର ଇଣ୍ଟେନ୍ସ ରେନଫଲ ଟା କଣ ହଉଛି ନା ବେଶୀ ତାଙ୍କର ଲସେସ୍ ଜେନେରେଟ କରଉଛି. ତେଣୁକରି ସେଥିଲାଗି କ୍ଲାଉଡ ବର୍ଷ୍ଟ ଟାକୁ ସେମାନେ ଜେନେରାଲି ବେଶୀ ସେନ୍ସିଟିଭ ଥାନ୍ତି ଆମର ସେ ସିଷ୍ଟମ. ଆଉ ରିଗାର୍ଡିଂ ଦ ସେଡିମେଣ୍ଟ ଇଜ କନସର୍ନ, ମୁଁ କହିବି ଆମ ଅପେକ୍ଷା ଯୋଉ ରିଭର ଗୁଡାକ ହିମାଲୟନ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରିମ ରେ ଅଛି, ହିମାଲୟନ ରେଞ୍ଜ ରେ ଅଛି, ସେଥିରେ ବେଶୀ ସେଡିମେଣ୍ଟ. ତମେ ଦେଖିବ ସେ ଯୋଉ ପାଣିଟା ଆସିବ ଯୋଉ ଉତ୍ତରାଖଣ୍ଡ ଏରିଆରେ, ତମେ ଦେଖିବ ପାଣିଟା ହେଲେ ଗୋଟେ ଦୁଧିଆ କଲର ପାଣି ଆସିବ. सेडिमेंटा सेई टाइप रो ग्रे टाइप रो कलर टे सैंड सेई टाइप रो सॉइल सेई टाइप रो तादरे पत्थर खंड भी पळी आसीबो द सेडिमेंट जनरेशन कैपेसिटी मु देखले से रिवर मानकर बहुत हाई because of their intensity of rainfall as well as the gradient they have. So that's why the sediment generation is more. But in our case, it is somewhat liberal. We are in a very good state where water is enough, and only thing that gradually this groundwater storage is getting reduced. As far as my knowledge is concerned, Noyagad area, Rasunakhala area, even the Aiginia area of Bhubaneswar is getting scarce water. Groundwater. That's why please remain sensitive. These parts are also now the news are coming that Sunakhala area, Noyagad area, there is very less water, groundwater. So the groundwater is very sensible as far as our living is concerned. Our living is doesn't depend upon the river water. I mean, नईरू पानी नहीं क्या पीवा कैपेसिटी नहीं. आगे हम बहु माने जाउथले से नईरू पानी नहीं क्या आस्तले एबे कहा बहु जीव नईरू पानी नहीं. हां कहा स्त्री जीव कोरू पानी केडे हो कूअरू केମିତି पानी कढ़ा हुए केते जण जानिछ हां बाल्टी पड़े कि माठिया पड़े कि गरा पड़े कूओ बिलेई गोटे थिला केते जण जानिछ हां कूओ बिलेई कहले बुझछ कूओ बिलेई कहले जानिछ आजा भाग्यवान पिला मानछ हला आम बुली जानिछ कूओ बिलेई हां कूओ रे गोटे बिलेई पड़थला से बिलेई बाल्टी धर के आस्ता हला सो दिस थिंग्स वर देयर नाउ कूओ सिस्टम चली गेला बहुत सारा सिस्टम चली गेला तो ये सिस्टम चली गेला पर जो सिस्टम ता हबो सेटा को टाइप रो सिस्टम तेणु मैडम आसीगले तेणु आउ खाली मैडम को 2-3 मिनिट खाली मु ये करी जदि पिला माने किसी जानिया को चाहछ हमर फोन नंबर तुम पाखे रहला एंड ऑलवेज 24/7 पर्सन आमे तुम भाई बन जे राती 3टा रे कॉल कलो बोली नाही तो राती 3टा रे जे कॉल करछ मु सदाळे भाबे से पिलाटी काम करछ तेणु कर राती 3टा रे कॉल कला मिछरे कॉल कले धरा पड़ियो हला हमर किछि पिला करिवे हमर जेते एमटेक आसी जीवो तांकर प्रोजेक्ट सबमिशन लाइ आसीबो ते जानि कि राती 2टा 2:30 रे फोन करियो मु भाबी से काम करछि बोली वो नहीं चलेगा कारण ता पुराना क्वेश्चन मु गोटे पचारि हला तेणु कर तमे मु से कथा कहली जे जत्ते बेले दरकार पड़ियो तमे पचारि परियो सो दैट बा तमे कोन कहले सर एमतिया गोटे जिंस मु भाबुची करिया पे देन आम पाखरे जतिक रिसोर्स अछि डेफिनेटली वी शैल बी सपोर्टिंग यू कारण आमे सदा बेले अन्य जगह सपोर्ट पाइ जे सपोर्ट पाइती से सपोर्ट दवा चेष्टा करियो मु जो सपोर्ट पाउ नथंदी काठू तेणु मु सपोर्ट दवा को कुंठा बोध होंती तेणु कर जत्ते बेले आमे जानु प्रथम दिन जो प्रदीप जो सार आस्तले सरोज साहू हो आम प्रदीप मिश्र सार हो ईआईसी माने होंतु all have given us support at any time we have called them and we are still working with in a collaborative way anytime we have invited them they have responded to our call anytime they have called us or we have called them it's mutual so that's why we are working in a mutual cohesive atmosphere so I shall be expecting you should be working in that way and we always be there for you so thank you
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable words. Do you have any query?
अब कोरी पचल मु कहि परिबिनी
So now we will take 2 minutes short break because Ma'am is here. Ma'am is going to give a hands-on training on statistical things. So we will take two minutes break. Then we will come back and again we will join. After that validation session will there. Then lunch. Then FDP is finished.
Actually, we have invited Madam on the popular demand of our participants. Our students and the faculties and the field engineers, they have invited Madam that Madam should be showing certain thing which we shall be applying at our organization. That is the main thing. That's why we have invited only person who was invited repeatedly. And I am also telling that Madam will be invited repeatedly, will be invited in subsequent programs. So it's a good occasion for us, and perhaps we have invented or discovered, Madam, that we don't know. So it is beyond that. Whether we have invented or discovered, Madam, we don't know. But still, Madam, we are expecting that Madam will be continuing with us. So it's a welcome to Madam. Mm-hmm. Yeah. हाँ, ठीक है हाँ Yes, certainly. Certainly. কিছু হবে না। আচ্ছা, এই যেমন